Hey everybody, it's Monday. This has definitely not been in the same spot in front of the same engine on the same exact day with the same exact coffee that Friday's outro was in, but here we are. So we've got one of our employees, Mark's truck in here. He's got a 4-door long bed 2012 Ram, getting some front end work done, and Jesse was digging into it and found some interesting stuff. We're going to show you that in a minute, but first off, happy Monday everyone. I hope everything's going well. Thanks for tuning in. If you have questions on anything you see here, put them in the comments and we'll respond to them or get them answered in the next video or ASAP, whatever comes next. Let's go talk to Jesse about this truck. Take it away, Jesse.
All right, so this is something that can kind of happen to anyone that's working in their home garage, and you hope this isn't something that happens when you take your truck to a shop. This truck had a Dynatrack free spin kit installed, which is something you just saw us do on camera here. And in the process, it's been on there for a bit. It had a oil seal leaking, so it was disassembled by a shop, reassembled, and after a while noticed that the wheel bearing got a lot of excessive in play.
Yeah.
So it was getting really loose within a couple hundred miles. So it was disassembled and saw that the outer locking nut had come loose. So jacked it up, they reset the preload on it and brought it in. We looked at it and determined, oh, looks like everything's good, but everything's kind of greasy and packed. There was no in play, everything was set as it should be. Well, now, a couple weeks later, it's came back in for us to do a little bit of work on it. And you know it, all the bearings were freed up again. Everything was really loose. So the problem is this locking ring, which we showed you in our previous video, has a tooth here. That tooth sits in the spindle. We'll walk it over here. That tooth sits in the spindle right there, so it can't spin. And that's why this works the way it does. When that's in there, you knock that tooth over into one of these pockets, and that way it keeps this nut from ever backing off. But what happened is, in the process of disassembly at a shop, they must have damaged this ring and tried to track down a new one. They tracked down one that was similar, but was large enough that ring, or that dog there, never actually sat in the spindle. So this could spin freely. Now, didn't matter how many of these were knocked down around it, it just spun back off. So something to always think about if you're doing work on this with aftermarket parts or even with factory stuff. I mean, all of this is based off of a factory axle of a sort. Always make sure the littlest detail, you're getting the right parts from the right manufacturer. If your truck is sitting in your yard for an extra 2 days torn apart, it's better than wrecking your truck. This small oversight could cause a tire and wheel to go off in traffic into the windshield of a Honda. If you don't have good insurance, you're gonna get sued. Somebody dies, you go off a cliff because your wheel came off and you get drug off the side of the road. I mean, that's worst case scenario. I've lost wheels on stuff when studs have broken. It always is bad. It's always bad, but it can be deadly. It's a small oversight, but it's something that you shouldn't let happen.
Yeah, it's worth noting, and it's the small things lead to big things. And if any of you have ever maybe worked in a shop before, maybe not worked in a shop before, a wheel off scenario is like a black ball. Like, you have a wheel off scenario and you try to, that's almost 9 times out of 10 instant fire. I don't know how high of a tech you are. It's one of those basic things. A wheel off situation, you're done. I don't care if you have tenure, I don't care if you're vetted. And it also, when you go to that next shop to try and get hired and they call the previous shop, I can tell you this much because I've called other shops and references too. You ever had a wheel off with this guy? That's like the one. You can forget oil in an engine. You can smoke a transmission. You can dent a car on the side of a building. A wheel off is like instant blackball death.
Because the liability of that for the business, if they know that that's happened in the past, because it's can be such a horrible event that goes on with a wheel off on the freeway or something like that, they can't justify the liability of having you in the shop.
Yeah. And so this is not to harp on the shop that did this or anything like that. This is one of those things where the more you know, because it is something that looks so insignificant, like this little clip right here, but this little clip is actually holding the nut that holds the bearing on, that holds your entire wheel and holds this on to your spindle. And that goes away, this whole thing comes off with the wheel and tire.
Yeah. Like they always say on a helicopter, you're one nut away. Nut. Yeah, that's the Jesus nut. This is the Jesus nut on your wheel.
Yep. So there you go. The more you know. Happy Monday, everybody. Jason's going to keep going on this, and we're going to get the right clip on there and get everything torqued down correctly. We do have to source some new bearings for it, though. This is fun to explain, though, because you did just see us install a free spin kit. This is the nice thing about free spin kits is they use traditional style conical bearings, which almost any bearing shop or any kind of shop is going to have in stock, so we don't have to special order anything. We can get a hold of them, repack them, put new races in there, get this thing back on the road ASAP.
Got everything wrapped up in nice little blue blankets here. We're gonna go down to the bearing shop and get everything new, slap it all together. This truck will be good as new.
Yeah, right on. Okay, well, have fun, Jesse.
Oh yeah, I always do.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, and got my coffee cup, and as per usual, whenever there seems to be a free spin kit or axle work, it is the onion of deception, and this truck is no different. So, what you heard from us from yesterday, there have been more layers to uncover, and what we have found is, so this is obviously one of our employees here. He had an axle seal leak, and when he went to go get the axle seal repaired at a shop, he wanted to do a rebuild kit for the free spin kit because it had apparently toasted the bearings that were in there. So he ordered a free spin kit, rebuild kit, free spin rebuild kit,
Bearings, axle nuts, and these.
which unfortunately was the incorrect kit. I'm unsure if he was advised on to order that kit or not. I'm not sure, but
It could have just been a mispackaging because everything
Yeah.
else obviously would have been right in the kit. The
Exactly.
bearings, everything fits. So.
everything checks out as far as like the basics go, part numbers, everything like that. Just maybe someone had a bad day making the kit and put the wrong keeper in there. So that keeper was sent in that kit to the shop to get it fixed. They took it out, fixed the seals, and then put that kit on there. And this is where it's the ass was just in there, it's a snowball effect, onion of deception.
It's muddy because
Yeah.
they didn't know that they had the wrong part, but didn't see that it was pretty clearly a unworkable part and probably just went, well, this is just how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And there's no clear fault anywhere here. This is, like you said, snowball. This
Yeah.
is little things building up to a big. Anyways, at this point, we have it all sorted. We have new bearings. I'm currently machining this down on the belt sander to make it into a installer to install a new race in the hub. Already got the other one installed. We're gonna pack new wheel bearings. We got a ball joint to put in, and then reassemble the truck, and it will be good to go.
And then we can install the brakes, because that's the original reason the truck came in. That's right. All of this stemmed off of replacing calipers and pads
And one ball joint.
and one ball joint. And this all onion, a snowy onion ball of deception, if you will. Landslide.
Snowy onion ball.
Yeah. I think we should make some onion of deception shirts. I don't know.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I think that maybe it'll be your first pizza merch. The shop, onion of deception.
Yeah.
And it should be like an onion with like hands
Broken
and a knife.
turbos and
Yeah.
stuff falling out of it.
Cut you. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like the onion needs to be threatening whoever's looking at it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jesse's gonna get on this. Little things add up to big things. That's pretty much the name of the game here, folks. So,
Yep.
Can I get a ho yeah?
oh yeah.
Hey, yo!
That was a little spicy. Actually, that was a little too seductive. That was too much fuck me and not enough you. Well, it is Wednesday, my dudes. Insert loud scream here. Jesse is working on the Gladiator here, doing some wiring. Wiring never ends, especially on trucks like this where we add a lot of things.
That's the truth.
All of the things. For those of you that don't know, this has got air ride on it. You can see that super sweet airbag right there with those.
Nice.
Yeah, so we got these cool E-click shocks with airbags. A lot of cool trick suspension on there that pretty much fit together, but not really. Not at all, actually. So we got some wiring going on. Dave is still doing body work on the Ram Charger. He's kind of in and out doing other stuff too, so you can probably go make fun of him for still working on the same door. He's way better at that than I am. That's how you know you're around friends. You make fun of each other for things you're not good at. Knowing that he could probably kill you or something. It's Wednesday, my dudes. You got anything fun to say? Me and Jesse filmed a podcast last night with Tyler.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a spicy unit.
You guys got to watch out for that podcast dropping in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm not sure what number it'll be, but it'll be on the same channel if you're watching this. Podcasts come out every Tuesday and Thursday, and Jesse will be on one of them coming up real soon here. So hide your kids, hide your wife.
Need to hide your kids, hide your wife.
You got spicy. I almost don't even want to talk about it. If there's one that gets us canceled, this is it.
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Okay, let's go talk to Dave.
Hi, Dave.
How's it going?
Good. Really good. You guys want to know what I'm doing over here. Come on, get in here. So I left on, I usually take Fridays off, so I was out of here Thursday evening, and I was like so frustrated with this door. I had to blast a bunch of primer on it. I got it to where at least I could come back in today and start sanding on it, figure out what real problems I have and what ones I don't. So that's what I've been doing. I started blocking this door back out, and after doing the primer and a guide cut, that kind of shows you where your problems are at. You got high spots here, low spots here. I still have a little bit of work I need to do where the old mirror was at. This whole door was pretty jacked. It was like kids were doing pull-ups on the tow mirror for a little while, I think, so this section was caved in. But that's it. I'm over here trying to figure out what areas need work so that hopefully by the end of the day I can have this door pretty much ready in real primer, and then I can start working on this quarter panel. That's an even bigger problem back there.
Hey everybody, it's Thursday. We're in the shop. As we talked about, I think a couple days ago we had Jesse on the podcast, but last night we had Dave on the podcast. Mr. Dirthead Dave Chappelle. It was a banger. You guys check that one out. Tomorrow we have an install of an Edge Pulsar LT in one of our employees' trucks here. So that should be good. We're gonna get some footage of that there. What do you have going on today, Jesse?
Today I'm just doing little wrap-up spots on the Gladiator here, you know, making sure to tighten up bolts, cotter pins, grease fittings, wiring, little things while we're waiting on a few more parts to show up, like drive shafts and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
a couple of the big things are on hold waiting for parts, but there's 1,000 small things to be done. So
And also, it looks like you're doing a little bit of shop organization at the same time.
yeah, digging through bolt bins and making sure I got everything I need here.
Well, that's like super duper exciting for everybody at home.
Yeah. Watch me sort bolts for
Yeah.
2 hours.
Sweet. But if we don't get anything else later today, we'll pick this back up tomorrow when we get Taylor's truck in here, and we'll get that Pulsar installed. And he should be pretty excited, because that LM2, we've actually done quite a bit of stuff on. It's got an S&B intake, a PPE water to air intercooler, Cognito 3-inch
Yeah, leveling kit,
leveling kit with some Elka shocks.
nice tires, nice wheels.
Yep. It's turning into a nice little build there.
It's a good looking pickup. It
Yeah.
is a good looking daily driver, good power, good mileage, comfortable. Not a Chevrolet, it's a GMC, it's high class.
That's what I prefer. I'm that guy that's always like Chevrolet or what I was like, no, GMC
Yeah.
is what I prefer. GMC, sir.
If I'm gonna have to own a GM product, it better be the nice one.
Not part of that bow tie clan. Nah.
I don't want the
GMC.
stigma that comes with that bow tie on the grill. You're welcome, Chevy listeners,
Yeah.
watchers.
Cut! It's Friday, Jesse.
It's Friday, man.
There it is. Okay, all right. Now we're excited. There it is. We gotta get Jesse fired up. You gotta get those glow plug cycle a little bit. It's a bad analogy. It's Friday, my dudes. We have our CFO's truck in here right now, and it's actually a pretty cool truck. I think it's a 2020 or 2021 3-liter Duramax. We did an S&B intake on it, a PPE water to air intercooler. It originally had a throttle resonator delete, but then we ended up taking that off to do the PPE water intercooler because it comes with one as well. And it's also got some cool suspension stuff on there, wheels and tires. But biggest thing we're doing today is the Edge Pulsar LT, which is that sweet little module right there. This, and I'm gonna jinx ourselves, is possibly the easiest install known to man. There's a couple different applications that this will work for, but especially on the newer Duramaxes, if you need to change like tire size, get some throttle sensitivity booster, gear ratios, top speed limiter, get rid of that auto start on off stuff. This is gonna be the best way to do it. So we're gonna get the install going on that right now. We'll show you a little bit more of the truck itself because you guys probably haven't seen it in a little while, or we may have not seen it at all. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun little Friday.
Dive into it.
Let's get the Pulsar installed and we'll run you guys through because everything is actually controlled through the steering wheel buttons, which is actually really rad. So as far as like trying to fish a wire through the firewall, don't have to do it. Pretty
Which is
cool.
really nice.
Yes, it
Really
is.
nice.
Because I don't know if you can tell, but
It's
we
hard to
don't
get the
have a lot of
firewall
real
stuck.
estate in here to be fishing wires through walls. So yeah, stoked on that. Cool. Let's do it.
All right, so first things first, you gotta disconnect your negative battery cable so that we don't fry anything while we're doing this potentially. Next, on this big clip here, this is the only thing we really have to take apart. You pop that little red thing up there. You press this corner in, and it shoves the thing up. That releases it. So you can see it's got this white big plastic round cam lock that kind of twists around as you're doing this, so don't force it because these things are known to break. New one here. Get it pushed down all the way. Press that down. Press your red locking part back there. Same thing over here. All right, all locked in. Grab this, push it in, and you're pretty much done. Now we just have to take this mess of zip ties and these little pieces of Velcro and find a place to stick this, probably something like that, and get our wiring all zip tied up. So that's all we got left, and then we can go into the steering wheel and turn the rig on, and after we hook battery back up, of course, and then go through the menu functions in there.
So this truck has an SMB cold air intake on there. So if you're doing this on a truck that either has a different brand or stock intake, it is going to look a little bit different. You may be able to actually put the module on the intake lid itself. But we're going to kind of route things around a little bit and get things out of the way. So just keep that in mind if you're wondering, oh my gosh, this looks totally different. That's why it's got an SMB intake on there. Also, if you're trying to figure out which intake you want, the SMB intake's the best. Just saying. All right, so Jesse got everything installed. It took like 7 hours, and we had to break 2 times, and we broke it. I'm just kidding. It was possibly the easiest install known to man. The hardest part was routing the cable, routing the wiring for the module itself. Other than that, it was,
And even that, we're grasping at straws on
yeah.
difficulty level here.
Difficulty level is like 0.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. So we've got the instructions here because it'll give you a guideline on where to or how to change everything, because again, you're doing it all through the steering wheel. So we're going to get this on. Camera's going to go over my shoulder, or we're going to run you through the basics on the Pulsar LT on this 3.0 Duramax. Yes. Okay. So group consensus 30%? Okay. I think he'll be happy with that, especially if he's been driving around stock. Feels nice and peppy.
Yeah, it feels good.
One of the other really cool things we did on this truck is it has a 3-inch Cognito kit with Elka shocks on there. It's actually got Elka coilovers. Got the Cognito control arms here. You see these big bad boy Elkas. And it really helped get this truck up to the right elevation so that we could put those 34.5-inch tires on there with a little bit of trim. Well, was it a little bit of trimming or a lot of bit of trimming? Jesse's not mic'd up, so he gives me the so that probably means there was an okay amount of trimming, but I can't tell where you did it, so I'll give you 1,000% on that one. But that was enough to fit these ridge grappers on there. I don't know what model methods these are, but it looks really good on the truck. I originally was not a fan of these trucks, but with the way this one's shaping up, I actually really like it. It's really cool, rides great, totally dig it.
All right, thanks for watching our episode. This is episode number for day. And yeah, thanks again for watching. We're gonna keep working on insert project vehicle here. And
Outro.